What is up, brother? I mean, you're in the trenches out there in Cyprus. I'm fighting my war out here in South Africa. But at the end of the day, we have to now more than ever be connected, man, and just share some insights about what you up there in Cyprus, what you're busy with. And, I did some videos earlier this week where I basically shared some of my previous knowledge about blockchain technology and the general future of where it's heading to and how it's being integrated in the traditional markets currently, and how it's where the possibilities are, and what you're busy with. I mean, you're in that field, you're the professional. I'm just a general noob, but I try to educate myself, and you have a good insight in the industry, and I would love it. I would love to share it with the world, and that's why we do all of this crap, because we gotta get out stronger out of this, and not weaker. And there is a lot of risk ahead for people that don't have this knowledge. So it's always better to be prepared for the worst and look for opportunities, man. And that's why I'm happy to record this and kick it off, man. Ask you what are you busy with, and what's popping out there in Cyprus?
All right, man. I would say the last few days my neighbor. He got some forex experience, and he's a crypto professional. Started with forex a couple of years ago, and then for the last four years, I believe, he's been trading crypto. And we've been analyzing the whole marketing, everything going on with the oil price and the stock market crash and all this stuff, and the Corona crisis itself. Yeah. I mean, Corona. I guess you have made some videos on that.
They call it the pandemic. The pandemic call it, not. They call it the grand pandemic.
Yeah. I would call it a crisis because it's a financial crisis. This disease, we can see it like this, man. I don't think it has anything to do with what's going on, really. And just what we are working with, like the back end of all this bullshit. And so what we figured is that the banks are printing a lot of money, like we know already. And now it's basically like 2008. They can't pay their credits anymore, and they're giving out now dump loans, helicopter money, just printing. So we're gonna have an inflation. And yes, we're gonna have a bad inflation, and the question is, what are you gonna put your value in? Is it gold? Is it Bitcoin? Is it some assets? Where are we parking the money? So, and like I'm working with a company here in Cyprus right now. Cannot disclose the name, just like the name of the country that they're working with. But there is a country, not a big country. They requested them to do a token, which is like USTD, like Tether, basically connected to a dollar value. And they want to give out to all of their citizens within the next 2 or 3 months. So this is going to be a quick project. Basically, free money.
All the citizens.
Everybody gets free money.
So my question to this is like El Salvador. So who is implementing it? Is the country itself, the central bank, or who's taking this initiative?
It's a government contract. I don't know a lot about it, but my guys, they are technicians. They build blockchain technology, and I don't know. Somebody called somebody. So there's going to be a contract, and since my guys, they are very good at what they're doing, some referral came up, and now they are very close before that token. Yeah, but anyway, basically this token, this country is going to give a token to everybody. Yeah, so they say that, let's say they have a rescue package of, I don't know, 60, 600, whatever, billion. They basically create that much tokens, hold that money somewhere in the back end, give the people the token. Now they can only go to the supermarket, to places where this token is accepted, and the store that receives the token gets the US dollar back from the country. So this is one of the projects that I heard of, and I'm sure that other countries are doing similar things, because we're going away now from paper money. Paper money time is over. It's digital now, and the question is, will we just have a bank that is like, okay, it's what you have now, X amount in your bank account, or will we have a system that is backed by something? But there will be a reset. That's what I believe. Some heavy inflation, like 1929 or something.
Yeah, it makes sense, because I mean, since the gold standard was removed, there was no backing anymore, and it was just printing, pressing buttens and spamming something to oblivion. So it can't end that well. And the good question is, how long is going to take? What period of time this transfer is going to take place now?
Well,
so that people,
I would say
that you can evaluate how long you have time to make good decisions, not to rush things. It's good to have a solid foundation, because we all had bad experience in our past, and we don't want to rush things,
Well, I would say it takes as long as they can milk us as the people. Because when I say they, there's a few people that make a lot of money right now. A lot of money. And until they are done milking us, it will go exactly this way. When the thing is, like, for example, the last 14 days or something, I believe it was 6 trillion that Donald Trump printed. And I mean, he knew that.
More, they're already over 25 trillion apparently.
Yes, and he knew that this stuff is going to shit. So they're shorting everything, Like, for example, Bitcoin was the highest in November 2017. And it was the day when the futures came out, CME futures. So in this moment, some very wealthy guys went a lot short and crashed the market down. And since then, it's been going down. So now they have collected enough money in the crypto market to now the crypto market can rise again. But at the same time, with the stock market, it was more or less the same. But they have been, the Federal Reserve has been putting money into the stock market so that the prices go up, while every idiot out there was able to buy now stocks from their eToro app or whatever. And they've been buying everything because they thought the market would go up forever. While on the other hand, the people that knew what is going to happen now, they went short. So they made a lot of money again, So the question is, how long will they leave us at home so that we don't see what's going on out there until they tell us, hey, the economy is fucked. Now we're going to be fighting for bread outside.
Damn. What can we do? Now, basically, I mean, if somebody wants to get Bitcoin, or any crypto asset that is backed by something, then the banks have to use it too. If this crisis, if really this scenario plays out that it's done and the reset comes like you predict, then the only alternative I foresee is blockchain technology, basically, for all the countries. So it's
I mean, they have already desensitized us, with the credit cards that we've been getting for years. And now they're telling, the cash money is, coronavirus can be transmitted with cash. So don't pay with cash, only pay with card. And you know what? Since it costs us money to print the cash and we can just do numbers on a computer. Why don't we just abandon the cash? And soon cash will be gone. And then you have a system that is monopoly, that is like GTA, Somebody just put in some cheat code, and now he has like fucking $100,000 on his bank.
He's on God mode. God mode.
And this doesn't work. And this hasn't worked. But they were always injecting new money so people wouldn't understand. You know, people were always like, oh, the government, they have some money. They will rescue us. Yes, they will turn on the printing machine and they will give some money. But at some point, there's just too much money. You know, there's more and more and more, and you have an inflation. I mean, it has been like this since the gold standard was gone. And then every 8 to 10 years, the shit collapses. At this time, it collapses so hard that you cannot fix it anymore.
Well, that was a tanking ship already since 2008. There was also, but it's not. You can't patch that breach. There's no patch for that breach. I see.
I mean, I don't know if Bitcoin is going to be the preferred storage of value, but you only have a few at the moment. And for me, for many years, I don't have too much euros, you know. And when I make some euros, which I make euros, yeah, but the euros that I make, I prefer to hold in cryptocurrency because I see it with the businesses that I do. I do drop shipping on the side now, just because I have some time. And PayPal just keeps your money, you know, like this is a third party that keeps my money. They don't let me work. Other companies like Stripe, they give me my money, you know, but nowadays when you have to do business with these banks and with these payment providers, they can just shut you down and that's it, you know. They can determine to keep your fucking money, you know, and the blockchain can't. So I don't believe in any of their system. And I rather have all my money in Bitcoin and have Bitcoin fail than having all my money in euro, knowing that euro is going to fail.
I think that's like the principle all or nothing, you know, either you trust something or not, you know, and I agree with that. I don't trust the banks. I had a bad experience in South Africa when the bank was holding my asset, you know, my value, my money, really, that should be my money. But these days, you give it to a third party and they decide what to do with it. So they hold it for 10 days in their so-called limbo. They came with some fantasy excuses, like some hocus, some, you know, sci-fi stuff and clauses, and said, hey, we have to know from where the money comes from. No, you don't have to know. You know? Yeah. You cannot hold it for 10 days. You know, what is it if it's an emergency? That's also, like, I just realized recently, more looking at it rational and logical. I mean, if I want to send you some stuff with that ancient banking system that is the hugest Ponzi scheme ever, and it takes 3 days to get to wherever you are sometimes, you know? And I'm not sending it. I need to ask somebody else for approval to send it. So the future is really to take back your power of your currency and value, you know, and be able to send it. And that's why I also see loads of positive things in blockchain. And I hate to say it, but the banks, they're gonna also have to buy into it as well. I mean, I see around the world banks are now in South Korea investing in mining. They also want to get into that business. They don't want to get left behind. So even the banks FOMO in. And so that's a good sign, I think, for the future of this industry.
I believe that the countries also have a lot of Bitcoin. I mean, just take America as an example. They'd be like, oh, we need a few trillion. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. So they print. So why wouldn't they just print cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching and buy some Bitcoin, you know, and keep that? Because it's the enemy that you cannot kill. They buy all kinds of bullshit assets. So don't tell me that they don't have no Bitcoin. Or all the Bitcoins that they confiscated. But this is, you know, like, this is always the bad guy. The Bitcoin is the bad guy. And I understand. You're not going to pay your coffee with Bitcoin. And nobody's paying the coffee with gold either. But, you know, there need to be certain things on this planet that you can measure a value on. And you cannot measure a value on something that is not limited. Because money is unlimited nowadays.
It's crazy. That is crazy, man, to think about it. And still people worry about tax and paying back stuff and mortgages now. All of this, people, that the property market is probably the next one crashing.
Yeah, for sure. And the question is, why do I have to pay taxes if they can just print? That makes no sense.
Oh man, I heard that a couple of times already, but just again remembering it and seeing it now again in front of my eyes, it's ridiculous. If you just turn on your brain, you know, you're thinking, and but most of the people now, they don't think. They will never go through this thought process because they're in fear at home. They live months check to check. You know, they're like in survival mode. You know, so.
And it's also outdoor. I mean, in Germany, most people, they don't care about what the politicians say and the politics, whatever. But at the end, that exactly that not caring is like, how can I say? 50 years ago, people would care, and then still nothing would change, you know. But now people have already given up, which means they accept it. You know, they'll be like, oh, I don't care what they are saying, but you should care because they have been fucking up your country systematically, you know, for the last 25 years, but you don't care because you can't do nothing about it. And it's true, you cannot do nothing about it if you're paying taxes, if you do all this shit, you know.
Yeah, but we are in a great time of change now, and we have to seize the opportunity to grow together, educate ourselves, you know, and embrace and prepare because this period is now it's the shortest window to make the most out of it because it won't last forever until shit gets real.
Yeah, let me see what's going on because I'm trading a little bit. See, we're cracking the 7-2 now. I guess we're going up again.
What do you predict the prices over the next? I mean, until after the halving, maybe after all of this lockdown and quarantine, and after they end the blame game because now they have the virus, of course, as a reason to change whatever they want, to destroy everyone. They probably watch the economy just collapse, and it's like, yeah, that's I don't know if they're like crazy, you know, psychopaths that could currently run all of that show happening in front of our eyes. So what do you think about the cryptocurrency prices? What can they do? Because people will look, if they realize that the countries are fucked and the inflation is not going to get better. I mean, I'm here, the rand tumbled down to the euro already like to over 20, and that is ridiculous, you know? Yeah.
Hello.
Yo.
It's not the end of the world. The internet didn't disconnect us. It was.
I'm like, you know what? They EMP'd me. I thought they gave me an EMP like Elon Musk is shooting SpaceX rockets up, man. I'm like, yo, they cut me off of my brother Daniel Brown. Welcome back to Hyperbolic Talks. Damn, bro. Okay, let me stop.
All right, move on here. Where have we been? Prediction.
Yeah.
Okay, what do I think? Well, you know, everybody will say that it can be go up, it can go down. But, in the long run, we all know it's going to go up. If it goes, let's say like this, it's hard to say, man. I mean, I know that the euro is dying first. The question is, who is dying first? I don't
The euro is dying.
Well, I would say, we're going upwards, for sure. The question is, how much can they squeeze now? How much can they, especially with this BitMEX stuff, you know, like leverage trading, they manipulate the market up and down all day because they can make a lot of money there, you know? So
they'll probably do one more big squeeze, and then they can't play the game anymore. Like, it's like the end phase. That's how I feel, because there's a lot of news coming up about, you know.
The IRS is right now sending Americans checks. I've been on the IRS website yesterday. They say as long as you have done your 2019 tax return and your address is on it, you will get a check to this address up to $1,200. Yeah. Only
1-2.
No, for the personal money. Not the businesses, they get a lot more. Like my friend, his mom, yesterday or 2 days ago in Germany, she applied for a business, coronavirus, COVID-19.
Like 5,000 euro, I think, or something.
8,000. They got 8,000 euros. It's already on the way. So everybody's getting free money right now. So if there's just 10% of these people that are as smart as us, what I'm going to do with this check that the US government sends me, I'm going to buy Bitcoin immediately. Bitcoin, or if I can get my hands on some gold. But I ain't going to keep that cash, because right now I get a bread for 3 euros. Yeah? In 2 months, I'm not going to get a bread for 5 euros anymore.
Yeah, if the lockdowns and they don't turn on something again and let people work and end this thing soon, then it's definitely gonna, like 3 to 6 months. It's not looking good. Definitely. Yes,
the storages are getting empty. The supply chains are drying up.
But they preach they preach that supply chains are still running, and that nobody should be afraid, and nobody should be afraid to take their money out of the bank because there's enough money in the bank. I've seen funny memes and videos. So there was an American lady, not American, but talking. I can't find it now. I would love to share it, but people should look it up. I'll put it in a.
I mean, it's true. They tell you, don't worry. You can go to the bank and pick some money. Just not today. Wait till tomorrow, till we deliver another truck there, you know? That's how it looks like. I mean, they don't know what to do. They don't know. And I don't even know why they're even meeting for cabinet and Bundestag and all that bullshit, you know, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Or either they know exactly what they're doing, but they don't know shit, and they just be like, oh, okay. So like a deer in the headlights, just run me over, you know. I can't do nothing about it. As long as I have enough.
Have you seen the people out of fear in Hungary? So the one minister took the opportunity to actually claim all the power he can get. So he's like a new age Hitler. He's like the new dictator of Hungary.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot like this, because right now they're taking away your human rights. I just went to the supermarket today, and even here in Cyprus, I heard it about Germany. I saw it 3 days ago the first time. I go to a kiosk, and all of a sudden there's a plexiglass, like a box. The person is now behind this plexiglass box, and the first one I saw was proper. Yeah? So then I talked with somebody in Germany, and they said, "Hey, this is proper stuff at Lidl, you know, and on every single they ain't gonna dismount that, you know." So basically, this is some police state stuff, you know, like you have the person behind the plexiglass, so you cannot rob him the cash. You know what I mean? Like people are getting separated more and more and more. Even here in the supermarket, and I asked him, and he said, "Yeah, the government basically told him he needs to bring this stuff there." Now he has it's a very small supermarket. He has the cash register, and then he has this plexiglass in front of him on the band. You know, now his band doesn't work anymore properly. You know, it was a shit show, man, using the register now. And I mean, what is this piece of plexiglass for?
Yeah, it's not looking good in that terms. If they keep removing rights, I think those policemen should also think how their kids and in what world they're gonna live on if they keep promoting those. Those politicians, they don't know what the fuck they're doing, man. They're destroying so much. This financial crisis now and this transformation is gonna be intense.
I mean,
I can't believe that we're in this 2020, bro. Like seriously now, I just tried to put this whole thing together. It's overwhelming at some point, you know?
The thing is that some of them believe, some of them are really that dumb to believe that this coronavirus is the problem. Because they didn't know what the problem was in the first place, you know? They never saw a problem, because for them it was fine when they get their 10,000 euro salary. They don't have to go to the Arbeitsamt, you know, and ask for 1,200 euros or for Hartz IV or some bullshit like that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's going to be ugly, man. It's going to be really ugly. A lot of people are going to be without money, and a lot of people are going to be mad. And there's going to be two camps.
the camp that is like, oh, what the government says I'm going to do. If they tell me I have to stay at home the rest of my life, I can only go in the morning, the alarm does, go to work. So you go to work,
the biggest separation now ever. That's how, the biggest one.
I mean, your alarm clock rings, go to work, straight to work. Don't go anywhere else. Don't go to no bakery, go nowhere. You just go to work, you know? So and after work, go straight home. Don't stop, how do you say in Germany with Monopoly? Gehen Sie nicht immer los. Ziehen Sie keine don't stop on the way home to the bakery.
It's true.
Yes. Don't go to the bank and take out 50,000 euros because the bank doesn't have it. Just go straight home.
You can only take 100 euros a day. Okay, sir.
Yeah, and there's going to be people that are going to be obedient, of course, and then there's going to be people that be like, no. Hell to the no. So, and that is the question. How long is it going to take for people to be like, hell no? And what is going to happen? I mean, just take a guy that lives in somewhere in LA, in his apartment with 2 children, another pregnant chick, and a pump gun, you know? Do you think that he cares about what the government tell him, how to stay at home? He's been selling his shit on the block, you know? He needs to survive. He ain't have no money. And there's a lot of these people, and they don't give a fuck, you know? So this can get really rough, man. I mean, these riots we had in major cities, France, or LA riots and stuff like that. I mean, it's 10, 20 years ago, France, fucking 3 years ago. This can happen anytime if it boils over. And that's why they want to separate people, so they cannot organize such things.
I see. And I heard something in Germany now also that, I mean, there you can still go outside for apparently physical activity if you're dressed in sports gear. And they're handing out the human rights book, you know, like the Grundgesetz, so the human basic rights. And they're creating already like a little protest thing. And people need to wake up to this shit. And man, that's why I do these talks, because also, again, for me to recalibrate focus, because we need to do our best now to share perspective. I mean, there's a lot of YouTube channels around I also promote and recommend people to look up to, because shit is going down, and if we don't act now, it's not good.
I mean,
like
it can only...
New China, you know, China, how they obedient and how controlled it is. It's gonna be everywhere like this.
I mean, in this type of situation, it only works like this. With people that have their small little YouTube channels. If you have a channel that has 80 million views and you're saying something right now that does not need to be said, you will not find this on YouTube. So, you know, we can only get people aware by spreading the word, you know, and even if you're just speaking with 10 or 20 people, and they speak with another 10 or 20 people, that people understand.
It helps 10 people, it doesn't matter. Collectively, it matters at the end, man. So it's all we can do.
The system is at the end. The system is at the end, and we need to look how we can get out of this, you know, and prepare for, I mean, you need to be prepared for the worst. It's always better to have how is this thing said? To be a farmer prepared for war. No, to be a warrior working on a farm than being a farmer going to war.
It's true, man. We're gonna stay hyperbolic and the hyperbolic game mindset also, because there's no weakness now, because if you're weak now and accept all the rights being removed, you will never get them back, and it is already happening. So
because if they do this once, they can do it again. If people are getting used to this now, that somebody tell them that they need to be at home, then this is nothing new. So if you do this again,
they tested that threshold already. So when next time they say, oh, there's again needed lockdown of 21 days, if they do this, then people is like, oh, okay, I shit my pants, I go get toilet paper. You know? I agree, man. It makes me furious. And
you can basically just tell people.
Yeah.
You can tell them, oh, coronavirus is over, but now we have next new virus. All you motherfuckers stay at home. If you go outside, you get arrested. That's it, you know? No further notice needed.
I just hope stuff doesn't go that bad that they force you to be vaccinated and get like a digital certificate. Otherwise, you can't travel, or you know, it's very ugly. Very ugly.
Yeah, I saw a video. What is her name? Some Croatian actor. I have her on. No, I think it doesn't matter. She's from the Balkan, and she was on a call with her friend. Her friend, she was 23. She had coronavirus, and she was she was sickly. You know, she said it wasn't a nice feeling, but she called the authorities somewhere in the U.S. and they came to her apartment. They told her she needs to stay inside. She had to sit next to her door, open the door, sit on her chair, basically in front of the door, like this. And then there were people came with the. You saw all of this in the video. Yeah? People came with the space suits, and then they stuck something up her nose. She almost threw up. You know, like she was going wild. And then they took the thing, put it in the envelope, and closed the door. She couldn't leave the house. You know, like.
No way.
Yeah, and then
fuck.
She said that they put this thing so deep in her head, you know. So my thought is, you can easily put some little piece of a chip on top of this, you know, put it in somebody's head, you will never get the shit out.
Nanochips, man, nanotechnology. So easy.
So everybody, because they've been speaking about this chip, you know, there's nothing better than making fear and then giving everybody a shot where there's a chip inside. Bam, now you have a chip.
And then disgusting. Disgusting shit is happening. I spoke to my parents also earlier about it, and they totally agree. It's not good that the rights are being removed. Actually, the people on countryside is gonna have an advantage now than to the city people, you know, where you can sustain yourself. So I do believe it's smart to go back to smaller communities and try to sustain yourself a bit better and be closer to real food sources. Because if they cut food supply and you're reliant on Mama State to tell you what to do, it's ugly. Then you're not a free human anymore.
Yes, I mean here we're on a small island. I don't know how many people live here. Maybe 1,800,000 or something. And this place is made for, well, I mean, 60% of the houses here in my area are for tourism. So right now there's nobody. And we have a lot of fields around. Our local supermarket is basically packed with only the stuff that's from the local farms. Most of the stuff that's in the supermarket actually is from the supermarket owner. So in a place like here, the self-sustaining thing wouldn't be a problem. And people also are not really panicking. Everybody here is pretty relaxed. You know, like the elderly people, they have the masks on. Most people stay away from each other. They understand here, but they also don't let anybody. I mean, we have this rule that you need to send an SMS, but here in my neighborhood, there's nobody. And if I'm responsible, if I go outside, walk up the street, up to the beach, nobody here cares that I'm outside. You know? So it's not that the government here really cares, you know. But if you go inside the city center of Larnaca and you're going into the Fußgängerzone where you shouldn't be right now, then yeah, you might get arrested.
Oh wow, that's serious.
Yeah, I think they arrested 17 people since lockdown, and 300 got written up. You have to send an SMS, and there's eight different like Gründe for you going out.
8 different reasons to
8 reasons, yeah. So you pick from number 1 to number 8. Number 1 is I know go to the grocery store until number 8 is other, yeah, like going to the horse farm or something, you know. And you send this SMS, and then they.
Anytime you want to leave, you must send an SMS.
Yes, you send an SMS to the state number. It's like a 4-digit number, and then you get an SMS back saying either you can or you cannot go outside.
Man, that is. So you have a new mother that you ask for permission if you can go out and play ball, and that is crazy. That is. I don't know.
The funny thing is that even a foreigner, like I cannot do it with my US phone number. So I had to buy a SIM card, and I cannot go outside without the SMS, right? I mean, nobody's catching me here. Nobody cares in my small village. But in theory, I would have had to write myself a letter that says that I'm now going to the store to buy a SIM card. So now I have one, but I jog here in the neighborhood, man. Hey, I'm running anyway, okay? I have running shoes on. So if the police is, trying to mess with me,
what kind of, just ask yourself, in what kind of movie are we currently? What kind of scenery is playing in front of our eyes? Can you, I don't know if people, that's why I love hearing about how each country is implementing those funny lockdowns that everybody takes for normal now. Like it's like a new trend, you do lockdown stuff. I mean,
well, I mean, I have heard on the other side of the end that on the other end of the island that they're going a little bit harder up in Paphos, but they have the most cases. So yeah, I think in total they have detected 17 people, but then it's going to be a serious reason. Like usually they give you a fine of 150 euros or something. So basically, I can jog out there, jog along, the police comes, I don't have a SMS, I give them 150 bucks, I continue,
Man, I don't really believe all of those numbers, man. All of this stuff is ridiculous and it's fantasy, They can use any death or any statistics. I mean, more people die of sugar and diabetes and obesity, like over 270,000 a month, but there's no sensational media and there's no restrictions of we're gonna ban sugar from the stores and you have to ask us for permission to eat sugar, So if people just, they should flip the script, if they really would care, then why lock you up at home, man? I've seen shit.
I mean, there's two theories out there. The one theory is that, okay, it's like some harder version of a common cold thing, and how can I say, they're just using it to cover up something different. Or the theory is that, I mean, there's some Americans, I'm not sure who it was, I have to read into it again, have been funding this institute in Wuhan, where they make biological weapons. And in Wuhan, the virus originated. So some conspiracy theorists say that it's on hand, that it comes from there. So everybody's blaming China for that. There's even a lawsuit now against the Republic of China for causing all of this epidemic. So the question is, number one, is it just some harmless stuff and used for a cover-up, or do they not know how dangerous it is? Or the third thing is also that China locked down really quick because China knew what they're dealing with, while the rest doesn't know what they're dealing with. Maybe they're just panicking or overthinking, but I believe that it's just a big cover-up.
Yeah, I mean, I heard different theories. I heard also connections to 5G, and just most recently there was a live stream straight from London. It wasn't sure if it's going to happen because YouTube is currently with that algorithm and AI is locking down a lot of controversial topics like, virus related, and people telling that it's all fake. It's the tests done. They're not like real, even if you would test it for other things, they just show positive, and then even people that die just on regular deaths, they get connected to dying from corona, or people that go into a hospital for orthopedic regions, they get transferred for corona things, so it's a very, very very odd things happening, and I do believe it's a bigger cover up, and it's the greatest lie to cover up the financial structure changing in front of our eyes and our rights being taken.
Yes.
So,
but in the past they have been lying to us so much that we don't know now if we should take this serious or not.
That's the problem. So everybody is like on the edge, all the time on the edge,
That is their little chess game. But I don't know anybody, that had coronavirus, so I cannot say, hey, how does it affect somebody, I only saw this video from she looked like a reliable source, And yeah, she was sick. She said she felt like shit, you know, for 10 days. But I have also felt like shit for 10 days before. You know?
They take, and that's the fact, they take normal flu symptoms or strong flu. You know, sometimes when you have a strong flu, man, you're like 7 to 10 days, you're fever, you're sweating, but you're sweating that shit out and you're good because you use your immune system. And most of the guys out there, they don't have a real immune system because they don't take care of their body and health and what they put into their bodies.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem. I don't think, and then obviously if you're older and have a weakened immune system already, then you're just falling into that group. But I don't know. I'm very critical about what they're doing. And,
Yes. I mean, these numbers, I don't know what to say. But what I see is a classical fear. They spreading the fear. Bring as much fear as possible. Because when your sheep are afraid, they will listen to what you say. If they are like,
they're like
you know what I mean?
afraid of the wolf. Because now the military and police is everywhere on the street, you know, and that imposes even more. Oh my God, I'm gonna get executed on the road for going outside.
And now you're not trying to imagine, yeah. They take 100,000 soldiers now for a country of Germany, yeah. It doesn't matter. However many, it doesn't matter. Take a number of soldiers, yeah. And now you go from city to city to city. You start in the top of Germany, and you just march through, and you march to every house, and you force everybody to chip them. You know, who is gonna resist if you are alone and 10 Marines come into your house? You know,
and if everybody is separated already, you know, that's also a thing.
So everybody stay at home. Now we can
Stasi weapons, man. We need weapons.
Yeah.
I need weapons.
You're not going to do that in America. Work from house to house. There's
also a big thing about so the World Health Organization and I mean Bill Gates and Rockefeller and Rothschilds. They're all like in one big team of supporting that vaccination thing. And I mean, technology is far, and I do believe that if we allow them to get to that stage that there is mandatory vaccination, then it's
if something is mandatory, then something is wrong with it.
Yeah, but a lot of things are mandatory, you know, and I think that's should always be like a alarming word in all of our ears these days. If something needs to be mandatory, when something is strange about it, that's fuck, man, you're right.
But yeah, other than that, man, I'm trying to stay away from this as much as possible, because if you go on YouTube, go on Google, you will only find the bullshit, you know. I have to dig deep to find what I want to find, and I mean, it's not my job, you know, to research.
What's more interesting now is like investing. If people don't, I know most of the people now will live hand to mouth, you know, like check to check, or they will be reliant on getting cash somehow. Or if they have some spare money, what would you, if you're in that position, you know, if you would be in that position, what would you do, you know?
So I'll make the example for somebody that has, let's say, 5,000 euros. That's his saved up money. He has that. Yeah, he has no job at the moment because he cannot go to work anymore. Last week he had a job. Now he has no real stable paycheck. I would stack up on food for the next 6 months. You know, as hard as it sounds, yeah, but like conserving and stuff like that. Live on the lowest minimum you can. Keep 40% for these 6 months for survival, and invest the rest into something that you can make to money or to something valuable later. It's hard to find gold right now. I mean, you know, I'm a Bitcoin person. I mean,
me too.
I would take it to Bitcoin and scalp it. You know, like if you say, okay, the price now, 7,000 euros, is not where I want to buy in. I want to buy for 3,000 because people saying it's falling. Then split it, buy on the way down or buy on the way up. This.
Yeah, like buy like a little bit, and when you feel, I see. Because otherwise, you never know. This market now is crazy, and I've seen a lot of news about manipulation, and there will be maybe a little bit more because the stocks are tanking, and then they've been fixing them. They injected they injected money, so the market is very unpredictable. So you can lose a bit, but nobody should panic if it goes down, and that's how I feel, So if you invest in it, you will definitely end up long term better than somebody that keeps their money on the bank, which soon they will, if they go to negative interest and you still pay money for your bank fees, and inflation hits, then your money on the bank will be worth way less than what you would lose if you invest in like those little amounts, always a little bit. And I hear that a lot, and I hope.
And I mean, if somebody doesn't want to take that much of a risk, you can also take 20% of your euro. If you be like, yeah, I love my euros, I want my cash at home, then take 20%, take 20%, buy some cryptocurrency and just keep that. Just keep it. Because in a few months, because, like cryptocurrency price doesn't go up really at the moment, but the price of euro goes down. That's what's going on. So if you double the money, then realistically the price of a Bitcoin needs to double, but technically the euro has just lost half of its value.
Yeah, because they're printing to oblivion. They started the game. But I mean, if we look at the traditional stock markets, they trade sideways now too. I mean, they pump them up a bit so that it looks good, that they maybe attract some people. Oh, maybe I can get a cheap thing. But I have a feeling of the really rich people, they want to squeeze out some more money now. People are afraid. Mm-hmm. So they're going to use that edge maybe one more time to squeeze out a bit, to dump everything and then buy in way cheaper the stocks. And also, of course, they'll do the same thing with cryptocurrency, because currently it's not mainstream.
That's the problem, the manipulation thing. And especially with the stock market, I mean, this has never happened before, that the stock market crashes in 4 weeks, in 2 weeks, or I think it was 4 weeks, 40%.
Yeah, it would have crashed more, but they turned off the machine so people can't sell.
Yeah. And it went back up even after the 6 trillion. Yeah, they said that it should be going up again, and the only thing it did was like, boop, boop, boop,
like a couple of and it's only going sideways. It's not really going up, and they're still printing. So something is not correct. Yeah, it's not gonna go long. Not gonna go good for long. But at the same time, the people are dumping now their shares, and the government is buying them in. So at the end, the government owns all of this, and after a reset, they don't even own money to nobody. They just make a system reset, like they had with the Deutsche Mark, when you had Reichsmark, $2 billion Reichsmark. So what did they do? They just said, hey, this is not working anymore. With a Schubkarre to buy bread, cannot work anymore. So let's cut this bullshit and make a new currency backed by gold. And that was a reset. That's the only option. I mean, that's going to also happen now. But what is going to be the next backing? So that's the question.
Probably gold again. Or because otherwise there is no backing. If there's a government cryptocurrency, then it will probably be backed by gold. Because if you back it like the USTD, Tether, if you back it with a US dollar paper that's not worth nothing, then you haven't created nothing.
Yeah, but then it's going to be either physical gold or Bitcoin. So I think they will go hand in hand.
To me, it only makes sense, Yeah. All these people that say, Bitcoin not fast enough for transferring, it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to. They didn't understand it. Of course, there are coins that are way easier to send. And it's also very simple to just connect a coin that is Bitcoin backed and make it basically free transactable. It's not a problem to invent something like this, but you need to back it with something. And the only thing you can back it with right now is either gold or Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's true, because it's finite. It's finite, and Bitcoin is only 21 million, and actually less, because it's not all mined yet, and some of that is lost. Who knows how many people lost their keys or ledgers? Or I mean, that's why I saw some news. Texas, in some states in America now, the government changed the law just recently, last week, so that they can seize untouched ledgers or Bitcoin addresses and claim them for themselves, because that's the only way out of this for them, And if
is this possible?
They really transfer they have so much debt, so they just remove all of that debt and do a reset. That's like a win-win.
Yeah, for everybody. I mean, everybody has debt. I think the American person is per one person has like $70,000 debt or something. I don't know anybody in America. I mean, I know a couple of people that own things, but I don't know anybody that goes and buys a car for $100,000, no matter how much money they have, and buys it for cash, which means they don't own this car. So they own here, they own there. They make their 10, 20,000 coming in here, but they have also 10,000 going out on the other hand. So if the 20,000 are not coming in here anymore, then all these nice cars and nice houses cannot be paid anymore. Because they don't own them.
We're in exciting times, brother. We're in exciting times, man. And I'm happy that I can exchange some thoughts with you, man. This stuff is crazy. This stuff happening. And
insanity, man.
Insanity. What will you be up to for the next how long do you think how long are we gonna be quarantined for, man? What do you think?
Well, I mean, in Serbia, for example, they closed the school till September.
Till September?
Till September. They already said there's no school until the next school beginning year. And here in Cyprus, they are debating about this. In Cyprus, they're not like, oh, let's meet in the parliament. Let's just decide something. The president steps on the mic on Sunday and he tells you what's going on next week. And that's what it is, So I don't know what they said yesterday, but as far as I know, until the 13th is the official first lockdown. But I mean, you will see. Like if in the next few days there's not a lot more new cases, then they might be able to let people out again here. Just no. But it continues to rise because we have 500 cases and we have only 500,000 or 1 million people, whatever. So this is pretty. It's 0.01% or something, or of the people population. So it's been spreading quick in these small places. But hey, I mean, I'm sure last year there was 500 people that had a flu. I'm sure.
And more, but now it's a thing. It's just a new thing to test more. And obviously, if you test more, you just find more, or you basically create more. It's just logical. So I actually don't buy in those numbers. And
I mean, what's also very interesting is that you hear, lockdowns, coronavirus, and a few days later, you have 100,000 army soldiers landing in Germany for Operation Defend Europe. So
I know, but they say they're there to help for the crisis, for the pandemic.
To help. As soon as people go on the street and riot, man, then they're going to be helping with the attacks.
Man, actually, is there some islands where we can fly out, where the shit is just not happening, where I can escape from all of this craziness?
Well, I mean, here we are in the middle of this shit, technically, because we have a NATO base here. Cyprus was already a place where they've been fighting a lot, over the country. We have the Turkish side, Turkish occupied side, or they call it Northern Cyprus, because it's still Cyprus, but it's not a separated country, but there's Turkish people over there, you know, took over the place. And in between there's NATO buffer zone. So they are present here, you know, like the NATO is operating their operations from here.
Oh, damn.
So, yeah, I mean, nobody's going to come fight here, but a lot of stuff will be, you know, angled, how can I say, Stützpunkt, you know, like stop by, fuel the tanks, go ahead.
Have you looked into Ethereum? What's happening recently, like with? Because I read also about a lot of companies adding on, and I mean Ethereum. And, I mean, obviously, not a lot of coins will also die because a lot of companies die. Obviously, I just read about smart contracts and all of those possibilities. Because at the end of the day, the middleman is gonna be cut. It's time to cut the middlemen. The little banks gonna die. The central bank's gonna probably take over. Now the question is, what's gonna persevere? And we need to persevere, man. And I don't want to be stuck at home anymore. Seriously, like.
I think Ethereum is gonna be an important part of the new. Let's call it. This new world order sounds a little bit hard. Like the new mankind, I would say, because we need contracts.
With the emperor, with the dark emperor Vitalik Buterin. No, man, this dude is great. This dude is but legit, man, smart guy.
Yes, I mean, the sense of a smart contract is pretty smart, you know. That's why it's called a smart contract. So I think it will have definitely will have use in our future. Just because we take away the intermediary that we have to trust.
Yeah, and decentralized finance, obviously. Also, independent finance.
But I'm not sure what they did. I think, I know I would have to read into this because I know that they wanted to do some changes in the network, but I wasn't focusing on any of this. So I don't know where they're standing, what they're doing. I don't have a lot of Ethereum, but just because I don't think it's a storage of value, it's more like a utility.
But I mean, I consider it also, I mean, for a noob in the field, if I would try to connect it to a traditional market, yes, gold is like God's money, you know, it's just like it's been there for thousands of years, like as a source of value, and Bitcoin is going to be like people's money. Even this dude, Robert Kiyosaki, said that recently. But Ethereum could be like a new digital stock, you know. Just also, it will also rise in the future because it's gonna have so much application, man. It's gonna be used by lawyers to transfer maybe houses or assets and buy things. You don't have to wait zillions of days. You don't need to spend so much cost on a transfer of a property. You know, we do it in a smart contract for so little. You know, and the same goes for Bitcoin. That's why I really love the genius concept about all of this, man. It's fascinating.
I mean, Ethereum is very interesting, and compared to the euro, yes, I would rather hold my money in Ethereum than in euro.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of making this now in the short term a quicker return, or I mean, it depends on what you want, you know, because maybe in 6 months a Bitcoin is worth $1 million, but there is no more dollars. So what are we going to value it on? That is also a question. If the currencies collapse the way we know them and they come up with a new currency, where will it start? Is a Bitcoin then $1 million? Because we don't have $60 trillion, you know, of money supply. We only have 1 trillion because there's only that much gold. So, you know what I mean? 1 trillion of that new dollar, which means now we cut money by 60 or whatever, however much money is circulating out there. That means Bitcoin theoretically has to go up by 60 or by however much that factor is.
Yeah, it depends also now on the hash rate and its inflation rate. When it goes to zero, obviously, then the value will need to go up because there is not more. It's like completely limited. And if you, mathematically, it does make sense. It's gonna be interesting. I also want to see where it could go. I don't foresee it to break. I still hope it breaks down to 4,000, obviously, to get some more cheap Bitcoin. To be very honest, and I do believe some bigger whales still want to take a grab, maybe if they reconsider their decisions. I don't know how many grabs are still possible, but they won't go forever, man. Like at the end of the day, I can see more and more interest in the industry, and it's good that we are it early so that we can position ourselves. And I also recommend everybody, at least, man, if you can get one BTC under your pillar and your ledger, it's not a bad thing, man. You won't.
Like this Bitcoin time traveler dude said, I think if you have 0.1 Bitcoin by 2025 or something, you're a millionaire, something like this.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to be a millionaire when the dollar inflation is on 10 trillion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, for $3 million, you can ride from I don't know, from Karlsruhe to Mannheim with a taxi.
Yeah, and for $100, for $1,000, you can buy a postcard.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's interesting because I don't think it will go fast. It can be 3 months or 6 months, but it's not going to take into 2021 till this massive collapse comes.
Yeah, no, it's gonna all happen this year, definitely.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I just had one thought, and I don't know how possible it is, but if the banks do the digital, all of the banks around the world have the digital version of the currency already. But if they, so if it hyperinflates and it's digital, then you would actually see the correlation of the inflation in real time if it's tied to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is finite. So you will in real time see how your basically currency hyperinflates and how less it's worth.
Yeah.
So if you by then still hold the currency, then you're stupid basically. If you don't.
You will probably see it because they are connected to each other. It's just not that Bitcoin is a standard yet, but the dollar is exchangeable for the Bitcoin. And if the dollar hyperinflates, then he will be worth less against the Bitcoin. So yeah, we will see that. I think it's going to take like 2 or 3 weeks till this money that they just printed gets through the channels, Because right now it's being pumped to the bank, and then the bank, in Germany it's actually the other way, yeah? In Germany, they give it to the people, yeah? They give it to the small business so that the small business can pay his bank, so the bank can pay the next dude, and the next dude can pay the next dude. And if this change,
they bail themselves out in like an endless cycle.
Yeah. So, but at some point, in like the 6th or 7th link in this thing cannot pay anymore, and that's where the system crumbles. So either way, it crumbles, So if you, as the small business owner, are even paying your bills still, because you think that this shit will continue, then you are the idiot, because the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, some of the motherfuckers is not able to pay. And that's when the collapse comes, That's how it is. When somebody is not able to pay anymore, that's where the train stops. And then on the other side, it's like, oh, I have money missing. I cannot pay anymore. I cannot pay anymore. Central bank cannot pay anymore. Nobody can pay anymore. Poof.
I think that's a good point to figure out what time duration this all is gonna take, and I think it won't even last not even till the end of the year.
Yeah.
Not even till the end of the year.
And America does it the other way, because in America, like your company, most of the companies, if I don't go to work, I don't get paid. That's when I was an engineer in America, and if I stay at home, if I'm sick or whatever, I don't get paid for that day. Which means basically 90% of people in America right now are not getting paid. So
it's going to be like more than 10 million. More than 10 million are already unemployed, and they filed to get government support, you know, like get cash.
Yep. And now I don't pay my rent. So now my landlord cannot pay his mortgage because the house he probably don't own it. It's an investment building. So now
let's take it away.
Yeah. And then the bank, either the bank takes it away from him. So again, they have a cheap house, you know. The dude has paid already the money that he owes them, you know, and more in interest. But now he cannot pay anymore. So they take the house again, you know. So they have a free house, all the money that they have already received.
Ugly.
But they can still,
it's all
but they can also not pay the credits to the central bank where they borrowed the money for the house, which means the bank will crash also, you know? This is just a rat's tail, man.
One bank closed already. I don't know which country, but they closed because...
it's also where you have your money. All the banks that are giving out massive credits is a bank where I wouldn't hold my money. I would hold my money at a bank that only makes money on transfers, on, like, for example, TransferWise. They are new, they're an online bank, but they do not give out loans, which means if there's nobody that cannot pay them back anymore, you know?
Yeah, they don't do that risky game, that Ponzi scheme.
Yeah. So they have no need to freeze your money to save themselves, you know?
Damn, man. Nice insights tonight.
Yeah.
How do I want to end this? I'm going to end this now. Everybody that's watching, I hope you appreciate it and share it with your friends, family. I don't know, keep it gangster, keep it real. Look into it. I hear that a lot of blockchain work and positions will be open in future, so that's going to be also a great... People that lose their jobs now can see this as an opportunity. Everybody that watches this video, you know, can maybe see this as an opportunity. That's why I do it. I hope, you know, people that lose their job and maybe need this one little thing and didn't think about the possibility. Now they may be early enough, so there will be jobs in that field. So it's a positive thing, man.
Yes, a few old jobs will die, a few new jobs will come. Mankind will always continue, yeah? We will have a shitty time for a few months, but we will always continue.
We will, man. We have to.